I'm logged into Project Online, and Project Online is a very robust project and portfolio management tool. It allows you to manage costs, but it allows you to do so in a very bottoms-up way, a very detailed way as well. The way you manage costs in Project Online out of the box is you create your different tasks, and you assign your resources, which could either be people, equipment, or materials. And based off the quantity and or hours, it'll then generate the different costs for you. And you can later on then put in your actual costs and so on and so forth. So this is a very bottoms-up, detailed way of building out and tracking your costs. What we've done is we've built more of a top-down way to manage your costs, which is what's typically done in a lot of organizations. So to do this, I can select a project here. I'll open up my financial planner, and I'm going to be able to build a more of a top-down, high-level plan of our budget and our actual costs, as well as I can manage other cost types within here if I choose to do so, like benefits and things of that nature. I can then break those costs down into different categories. So we would configure this to have the different categories that you all might be tracking. And we can group those categories into different types or groupings, like, for example, expense type here. So what I've done is I've created different categories like equipment, software, so on and so forth. And I've grouped those then into expense types like capital expenses and operational expenses. From here, I can come in and I can simply just key in my budget, for example. So my budget for equipment for November is going to be $5,000. And then in December, it might be $2,000, so on and so forth. So it makes it really quick and easy to come key this in, just like if it was an online Excel spreadsheet. Later on, then you can come and you can key in your actuals, or we can integrate with other financial systems like, say, SAP to be able to bring those actuals back in and give project managers visibility into the actual costs that come from their projects in real time as it's actually happening. There's also a built-in heat map. And you can see the heat map rules here, which are actually definable. And basically what it's allowing me to do in this case is if my actuals are over my budget, then it's going to show up red. If it's a little bit over my budget, it might be yellow. And, depending on how far over it is, it'll have those different colors. What this allows me to do is just really quickly, really easily be able to see where I have problems, right? Where I'm spending more money than what we budgeted. From there, if you're looking for more robust reporting, we also have a full report plat that includes financial reports, so you can get visibility into what's going on more from a reporting perspective too. So managers, executives, people of that nature can come in and get an idea of what's going on. In this case, I'm looking at lots of different projects, and I can see for each of these projects we have a cost KPI that tells me kind of how we're doing, and I'm looking at the totals of the budgets versus the actual cost, what's remaining, things of that nature, but I can look at that across many different projects all at once. I can also see costs by time. In this case, we're looking at costs by quarter. This is my budget versus my actual. But from here, I can actually drill in or drill out. So within Power BI, you have the capability to drill in and drill out of a lot of these different visualizations that I'm showing. So if I click on quarter 3 and I want to get more details, it'll then show me by month budget versus actuals. And so we can see how we're doing over time. We also have a full financial report pack that's a little bit different flavor on some of this. This is all focused specifically on financials, and it allows you to see things like up in the top here, by portfolio, I can see budget versus my actuals. And then if I come in, I can drill into these portfolios, like say my cut cost portfolio, and see all the different projects within that portfolio and how they're doing from a budget and actual perspective and such. Down below, I can look at that over time. But one of the great things I can do here as well is I can come in and I can really start to filter this down and just look at the information that I want. So I just want to focus in on a specific portfolio, like my cut cost portfolio, for example. I can come in and do that. So once you get it kind of looking at the information that you want to be looking at, then you can flip through these different tabs and see the information in different ways. This particular tab shows me all the different portfolios that I've selected, and it shows me the total costs by quarter and then totaled up over year. By the way, you can also, if you want, export these out to Excel very easily just by using the export option there. The next one is the same format, but instead of looking at it by portfolio, I'm looking at it by project. So I can see each individual project and how much they're spending by quarter and by year. Lastly, we have a similar visual, except for it's showing you your budgets versus your actuals by project, and you can see that then by quarter and totaled up per year. Lots of other ways that you can look at this information. We have a lot of pre-built reports, but hopefully you can see how you can manage your project's costs, financials, both budgets, actuals, possibly benefits, and other, break it into different categories, and be able to time phase it over time so you can see when those costs are going to be incurred and are actually incurred, and then get lots of great visibility into what's going on to make sure that you're keeping on track and understanding where your problem areas are.